I want to explore. I rescued trees. I salvaged materials from old houses, demolished furnitures. Then I created the art that I'm making right now.
It is incredible. I mean, if you could only see, I cannot understand how a piece of wood, and I've seen some of your videos where it's just like a block of wood, all of a sudden come out with wearable art, like a beautiful bag. I'm sure we can show that later on in the screen, but how difficult. I mean, you have no formal training as well, aside from your father. There you go, see? I mean, how can that be, right?
This is a salvage Nara wood. It used to be an old. This used to be an old beam. An old.
How? Where?
This is one piece of Nara wood. You can see on the grains. You know what inspired me, Christine, to make this kind of art? It's really the comparison of the material and the work.
Okay.
I mean, if a salvage material can be given a new life,
Yeah. Parang tinatapon-tapon lang yung mga materials na ginagamit mo, di ba?
how much more women and children? So, if you can turn something that is already discarded in something beautiful, right? How much more the women? If we support them,
Yes. If somebody's there to take care of them, to mold them, to guide them, or to love them. I mean, you are discarded because you are not worthy, because maybe some other people did not realize the importance that you actually have in yourself, and for you to come up and create this wonderful life. How exciting! And you are continuously inspiring so many people, and I'm so honored to be sitting with you, Lisa. Yeah.
Yes, Christine. My turn.
Your turn. I mean, you have to listen to this girl's story. I mean, her life was never easy, considering all of the achievements that has come her way. Late retirement, that's how much she totally loved what she did. But, you know, at a time that who didn't do ballet? I did ballet, but ballet didn't like me. It just said no, it's not going to be safe. Right? Everybody pretty much, I think it's a journey for a lot of women or little girls or also boys as well, is to go through ballet. But it's a hobby.
Thank you.
Or
Thank you.
that's how we were taught, you know, you do it. But for you, I mean, you made it wonderful, flourishing career. Your mom was a ballet dancer as well. And, you know, like the people, you have to ballet, Iha. How did that come into a prima ballerina and where you are now?
You know, when I started at 8, I was an 8 starter. Because
Late
Late
normally
starter.
little girls now, they start at 3, 4, 5. I accept in my school, I accept them at age 3, 4, but it's like, you know, twinkle toes, 80 movie.
Yeah, just...
But the dream to become a ballerina only happened when I was 14 years old, and I met a Japanese prima ballerina, Yoko Morishita, backstage at the CCP. And when I saw her, she was tiny,
Like
she
you?
was Asian, and yet she was dancing the super Western classical ballerina role of Odette Odile in Swan Lake, and she was dancing it super well. And
Because normally these roles, what, would be tall, blonde, I mean,
yes,
what?
Yes, I mean, Giselle is a French maiden. Odette Odile. I mean, do you see a swan queen here? Well, you kind of have to like.
You definitely created.
Train, yeah, to create the illusion, you have to like extend your body to be able to create that illusion of height and all of that. And it's years and years of training and almost like physically abusing your body, which is an aging instrument. So it's kind of sad actually that after many years of being able to dance all of these different roles, when you get the wisdom of, portraying a maiden who dies of a broken heart, or portraying Carmen, the seductress, the survivor, your body gives out and you have to retire. And I was very thankful. I had a very long career as a ballerina. I retired at the age of 50. But of course, I paid for that. I had several, surgeries and,
Yes.
Anyway, it was painful, but at the same time very, very rewarding, because I was able to, using my training, tell a story. And now I am able to mentor and teach ballet to my students. I'm able to create ballets for my company, and that has given me a new calling and a new life. So I'm really, really grateful to have survived all of those years.
I mean, the story that Lisa has to share. Yeah, I like it because she also coins ballet as a performing athlete. And it's something that I can relate to, as we all athletes, as we get older, we have a bandage here, we have surgery here, it's like things that used to be so much easier then, definitely not easy anymore, but the passion lives on, the passion of wanting to continue to teach and to help, other inspiring and up-and-coming ballerinas or athletes is truly commendable. Bella, and you?
Hi. I'm clearly not a ballerina.
No, but you did take it. How was that for you? Did you enjoy your ballet experience?
I did ballet for a year, and I remember my mom telling my dad I had scoliosis, so she would stop bringing me to ballet class. I never had scoliosis. She just knew I wasn't gonna go anywhere with my ballet lesson, so she's like, you know what? We're cutting this.
I mean, considering you have a creative soul, I
I actually really love dancing because I'm not a singer, so I feel like my movement is more physical. So I do like dancing. I was a cheerleader in school.
Oh, there.
Yeah, I took jazz for a few years, but ballet was, I think, every girl's dream talaga. Like, we all wanted to be a ballerina.
Because you're just so beautiful and graceful with your little pink tutus and whatnot. But for our viewers, see Bella here, like all of the other panelists, has continued to expand her role. We all know her as to be, an actress. But lately, she has discovered, I think maybe it's always been in her because she's always enjoyed reading, but her writing, she writes scripts, she directs. How did you find that in you to want to even branch out into directing? Di ba napakahirap yun?
I am thoroughly enjoying it right now, but I think also, I guess, to touch a little bit on how I started as an actress, I was discovered in my high school field trip in my senior year. I was taking journalism as my elective, so I really wanted to get into, I guess, writing. That is such an unflattering photo. No, I know.
We're hoping you wouldn't see it.
No. But yeah, I was discovered in my high school field trip. I wanted to be a broadcaster after college. Eventually, I wanted to kind of take journalism, I guess, as my pre-law course and be a lawyer further down the line. That was the dream. And I was the kid who didn't skip. I didn't have a gap year. I did my classes, I finished school very diligently. Extracurricular activities were not allowed in my household. My mom was very strict while I was growing up. And then my teacher in journalism took us to Philippine Daily Inquirer and ABS-CBN. And I remember I was handpicked out of the crowd, and I was asked if I wanted to be an actress. And I thought that was ridiculous because I had classmates who were much, much more beautiful than I was in high school. I was really an ugly duckling. Not saying that I'm a swan now, I might get there later on in my life, but I was shocked, like, to my core. And I just remember telling my mom, someone approached me and they asked if you could call them tonight. And so my mom asked them what it was about, and so they said, could she join the next batch of Star Magic in ABS-CBN? And my mom said she can't because she's graduating on March 31st. She's graduating high school. And So that was the end of that, and I didn't even think about it because I also had no aspirations to be an actress. I was very shy growing up because I had actors in my family. You know, we had Tito Robin, Tito Rostom, Tito Rommel. Every time we had the family reunion, they were the stars of the show. So I never really got a word in any situation. I was always just very quiet. So I was happy when it didn't push through. I graduated March 31st. On April 1, they called my mom again and said, she graduated yesterday. Can she can she come do workshops today? It was really that abrupt. And I remember doing my first workshop on April 2, 2007. So I've been working for the last, what year did I say? 2007? 16 years. I had to do the math really quick. So the last 16 years. And obviously, I feel like I've only been relevant, or people may only have known me the last 5 years, but I will never discount the first 11 years where I really cried my heart out, got rejected so many times. I went to so many auditions where I found out later on it was just for formality and there were actually already actors cast for certain projects. So it was very difficult. There were so many no's, so many closed doors. And then I said, you know, this can't be the end of this because I know I have what it takes. I had friends who needed scripts written, so I would do it for them. I would not get credited in these projects or paid, but you know, I put the hard work in. I feel like I always wanted that anyway, and I didn't want to.
Before I let you continue, when did the spark happen? Because you said you had no desire to act.
Yeah.
And then when did it all happen na magaling pala ako? Or kaya ko pala? When did you realize that?
I think because I'm a Taurus, I'm very bullheaded.
Same.
Yeah, so I feel like, you know, I put 1 year into this can't be it. And then I spent 1 more year. I put 2 years into this can't be it. So it kept going on and on. I was like, I put 10 years into this can't be it. I have to get somewhere. No, but I remember we had one workshop where we had the facilitator and we were all acting out the scene, and this was in the summer of 2007. And Mr. M came in, and all my classmates were still like acting towards our facilitator. I faced Mr. M. I started crying in front of him. And when Mr. M left the room, our facilitator said, we only have one actor here who wants to be an actor, and that's her. And I think that's when I realized, you know, I will do the work if it's given to me. So sometimes you have to open doors for yourself. I found a funny tweet the other day that said, when life closes a door, open it again. That's what doors are for. So I feel that way all the time, you know, like I feel like people will never give you the shot. I was told so many times that you're only meant for second lead roles, or you're too white, so we can't cast you in this role. You're too fair, you can't be here. You're not that pretty, so maybe, you know, in a few years, maybe you'll get prettier. I don't know. There's so many things that will be said to you, but it's really up to you to decide where you want to go in life. And so I started writing scripts because there were roles that I wanted to do that weren't being written for me. So the first major role I got, I was part of the writing team, and it was 10,000 Hours. We're one of the most awarded films in the Metro Manila Film Fest and FAMAS. So I joined the writing team of that project because I knew I wouldn't get that shot from anyone else. So sometimes you give yourself the shot. Yeah.
So you find your own open doors. I mean, you just open it and enter it and do it. Okay, so quickly, before we toss to Sam, so you did your script writing and then directing.
Yes.
Did it somehow come hand in hand?
I was told by a lot of bosses I've worked with that the scripts I write are very descriptive, that they could already watch the film while reading my script. So they said, we feel like you will have a knack for directing, so try it. But at that time, I was doing so many acting gigs. And then the pandemic happened, and I was very worried for my friends. So again, out of necessity, I felt like, okay, maybe I have to step up and do this, because if not, you know, saan kami lahat pupulutin? You know, our network was closed down. People were jobless, so I felt like I had a responsibility to step in one way or another.
Yeah. Well, you know, amazing stories. I mean, just from the pandemic. I mean, all of these women have actually put in a hand to help during the pandemic with your jeepney bags, and of course, you know, you're online, and of course, you also help the, you know, the neighboring paete in terms of their wood carving.
Pandemic actually gave us the time to do the mentoring. So, well, not where when we don't have much projects, we had a time to pass the skills to the artisans in Paete. So, dun dumating yung pokpok mo sa kanila, hindi pwede yung pwede na.
Yes.
Everything you do it with quality. So, it was very intimate mentorship. It's not the academic type of teaching. So, we had a very heartwarming interaction. So we were able to dig deeper into the work. We were able to get to know each other and bring out the best in them.
Which is also nice. At least you're able to pass on, and I think that's always been the legacy of all the ladies here, is to be able to pass on whatever knowledge they have to continue to share it with everybody else. Sam, I know our audience, you keep giving me the look. It's like, when is it my turn to ask the question? So I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Yes, Christine, but before that, I just want to say, as a fellow woman in the arts, it's really inspiring to hear about your resilience and the passion you have in your respective fields. And I'm sure Trisha here would agree. She has a question for one of you. Please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Indeed, ate. And ayun po, I am Cadet Girl Scout Trisha May Simasakay from the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. Greeting everyone here. Happy International Women's Month po. And ayun po, grabe, sobrang inspiring. And anyway, my question is for Miss Bella Padilla. So, ayun po, hindi ko pa palagpasin yung time na to para sabihin, I'm a huge fan of yours po. And ayun po. So, my question is that you might not be a ballet dancer, but you are a very great actress, a film director, and a screenwriter, and you took so many roles in life. And among all those roles po that you took, alin dun yung pinaka-challenging for you, and at the same time, yung role na pinaka-nag-empower sa'yo? And ayun po, and how? Can you share us about it? And yun po.
Thank you. Thank you, Trisha. I actually met Trisha outside earlier. We took a photo. Hello. Thank you. That's a lovely question. I think all the jobs I'm doing at the moment are all equally demanding because, like I said, I'm a Taurus. I like to put 180 million% of myself in everything I do. So even before I started directing and writing, when I do a film, feeling ko nakukulitan na yung producers ko sa akin. Like if I'm doing a movie with Viva Films, which is my, I guess, home agency, I sit down in marketing meetings. I like to ask what the slant is, how they're gonna sell our film. I try to be very heavily involved. And you know, this I think is a little bit unusual here in the Philippines because we try to do only what we're asked to do, which is sad because if you do know that, you know, you can push your work and yourself a little bit more, I would really admonish you guys to do that because no one else will do it for you. So I feel like, yes, in a certain project, I'm only paid to, say, act in this film. But there's no point acting in it if no one's gonna watch it. So I really try to be involved in every step of the process. So I apply that in all the roles I'm doing right now. So I wouldn't say one is harder than the other. You asked earlier, like which part of it makes me feel most empowered. I think, you know, in the Philippines, we're not used to women who are multi-hyphenates because we are told you only fit one box. And that's very sad because there are so many of us who actually do more roles than one. We go to our jobs and then we go home, we take care of our kids, we, you know, clean everything. We're everything, everywhere, all at once. We're Michelle Yeoh all the time.
Yes.
And we don't get enough credit for it. Women are multi-hyphenates without even asking for it, and yet we're not acknowledged to be who we are. And so I feel like sometimes when I get scared, because there are so many parts of my job that gets really scary, when they released the budget to us, I recently co-produced my first film and it's coming out on April 8th. When they gave the budget to us, you know, I felt like this money now I'm responsible for, and you know, my whole career, you're told you're only an actress. You know, suddenly you have to know what cameras to rent, what lights I can fly to Korea,
that's
which
very
batteries this
expensive.
airline will allow to bring on. So there are so many aspects of the job, and not just my job, everyone's job, that's very scary. But the empowerment comes from yourself. It comes from how far you want to push yourself and how much you're willing to take and how much you're willing to give out. So I never allowed people to dictate to me that this is all I can do because I know what I can do. So I think just being very sure of yourself and knowing, having goals in your life, that for me is the empowering part. So thank you.
Very nice answer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bella Padilla. I'm sure all the women here have been empowered by your answer. And thank you so much for also empowering them to break through the norm and to pursue their dreams. Yet, we have another question here from also a dreamer from UST.
Hindi na nagkamali.
Good afternoon. May I know your name? May we know your name and your question?
Hello, so I'm Vienna Verza. I'm a third-year student, journalism student from the University of Santo Tomas. And I'd like to ask Ma'am Lisa, how do you encourage little girls to pursue their dreams? Thank you.
I think pursuing your dream starts with a decision. So the decision to pursue your dream, the decision that makes you commit to the kind of investment, the kind of energy, the kind of planning, the kind of work that you're going to put into pursuing that dream. And I think everything has to be in a plan. That plan can change, but I don't think a plan can start if you don't get a brilliant teacher or mentor who's going to teach you. Because that is very important. You first have to learn the skills before you can build on them. And then third, I would say once you've made that decision, you've made that commitment, you've learned all the things you need to do to pursue that dream, you just go for it. You have to be brave, you have to be courageous, and you don't give up. And as everyone said, open and keep on opening that door. But I think you also need to give yourself deadlines as well. You need to also be realistic with what you dream to become. And at the same time, I think you always have to, and just keep at it, because all of these things takes time. Nothing is instantaneous. It's not a cut and paste thing. You really have to explore all the possibilities and build and build and build. And if that tower falls or leans towards any which way, you take a step back, reassess, plan, make another commitment, make another decision. But it all has to be very conscious, done with this and this.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Lisa, for that wonderful answer.
Si Sarah, sorry Diego, but I mean Sarah here was she was like hanging on to every word you said, just like, tell me more.
But because I am seated beside Lisa Makuha. Diba, guys? It's such a wonderful moment. And as she was speaking a while ago, kanina, that I'm like telling God, Lord, thank you. I am a bad baker. It's seated now with Miss Lisa Makuha. And this is what you get for working so hard.
I know, and I like the question, Diego, that your name is?
Vienna po.
Vienna asked, because I'd like to continue that with our panel here in terms of pursuing that dream. What moment in your journey was there ever that aha moment that said, this is where I need to be, this is what I need to do, and I want to continue on this path? Was there ever a moment in your journey that said, yes, I am where I need to be? Charming.
When somebody told me that ikaw gumawa niyan, babae ka lang.
Wow.
Working on a hard wood is not easy.
Okay.
It would take physical strength, which men actually have. But you know, the strength of a woman comes from within, our core. We're very nurturing, we're very resilient,
Emotional.
right? Emotional. We put our 100% in everything that we do. So, instead of, you know, dwelling on that, medyo masakit words,
Na babae ka lang.
I took it as a challenge. Hello, babae ako.
And
You're
I can
right.
do that.
I can do that. So, without any formal training, parang I work around the techniques, develop my own style. Of course, since everybody in the family are artists, it's not really how you be a great artist, but how you make the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So, most of them are men.
Yes.
They are not patient working on these details.
Because what details do you like? You like to do the flora and fauna, di ba? All the intricately maliit na bulaklak, or don't you want to pick the bigger sunflowers or something?
Again, it's another comparison between the women and the material that I work on. You know, flowers are delicate, they are soft, they are fragile. Yun yung nakikita natin surface ng every woman, di ba? But if you knock on the wood, it's a tough material. And you say, matigas ito. Right?
I'm not gonna crumble that easily, right? I mean, okay, so how about you, Sarah? What was your one defining moment or several moments, I would think, in your journey as well?
Actually, coming from your example, yung ma-typecast ka kasi babae ka lang.
So meron din
Meron.
in your line of work, you would
Yes,
think that it would
definitely.
be smooth sailing for you.
Oh no, definitely. I remember when I used to make my gacha bags. And ibang klaseng business yun because it's mas madaming orders, mass production kasi it's very low yung price point niya. So I remember supplying the department store, ganyan. But napansin ko, hindi ako nananalo sa mga bidding. Yung presyo ko kasi parang mataas ng 50 centimos, piso. Parang naisip ko, bakit ano pang kailangan kong ibaba sa presyo ko para manalo ako sa bidding? Then I discovered that yung palang nakukuha kong presyo sa Divisoria, mataas yung binibigay sa akin. Because babae ako.
Pero pag lalaki, mas mura, tama.
Dito, ang story pala, I discovered from a friend na sabi na hindi ka mananalo sa bidding kasi number 1, hindi ka Chinese. Number 2, you don't speak the language. And number 3, you're a woman. And so sabi ko, bakit? Sino ba mga suppliers ng katsa sa Divisoria? 7 sila, puro lalaki, puro Chinese. Sabi ko, I want to meet them. Can I say hi? So, I meet up with them. And I didn't know that it was a drinking session. I'm like, iinom ako. But I will strategize. Iinom ako with you guys to show you that I am also a very strong businesswoman. I pay. I have good design. I'm very serious with what I do. But I strategize by drinking water at the same time. Right? That's how we are, right? And I remember from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. we were drinking and eating siomai. And we had a bidding the next morning.
And
Everybody's out. I was first
we're still there.
with the lowest price, the best design, and I won the bidding for the very first time. So, hindi pwede. Hindi ako papayag because babae ako, hindi ako Chinese, I don't speak the language. Yan. Ito nga yung sinasabi natin kanina, pag gusto mo, may paraan.
Yes.
Regardless of our gender,
Yes.
to be honest. If you really want something done, you can do it talaga. You can strategize and think of how to get there.
And of course, what are you willing to do to make that dream possible? I mean, people are willing to do, somersaults and I don't know what not to make this happen For you, Lisa, what were you... I shouldn't even have to ask that question because I know you went through a lot. But what did you do to be a prima ballerina and
As
knowing
CEO.
that you did those things? Was there ever a point where you said, "Why am I here? I mean, can I just quit now, please?"
Well, I think my defining opportunity was going to the Russian Ballet Academy, leaving home and all the comforts of home and family at the age of 18 and moving to then Leningrad, Russia. It was still communist. And when I say communist, it was like really, you're standing in line for bread. Okay, aside from, of course, training
Yeah, right.
12 hours a day. But for me, it was a mechanical moment. It was my aha moment. I was doing my fondue, okay?
I know fondue
I won't
is a cake, huh? I don't
explain
know
anymore,
fondue is
okay? But because the instruction was in Russian, and I still did not really understand the language at that point, I heard my teacher say heel, the word for heel, and then forward. And so I went, okay, I'll bring my heel forward like this. And then she said, good. And I felt it. I felt my whole leg become more stable and stronger because of that properly executed move. And honestly, that was my aha moment. After that, everything sort of like followed. I was able to learn a different
Because
method.
you knew you could do it?
No, because I felt it.
Because you felt it.
Felt it, yeah.
So parang it just like a light switch just clicked and
Yes.
said, okay.
Yes, it was my eureka moment.
Yes.
And from that fondue, everything followed because I was doing ballet correctly and I was feeling it in my body. So I was able to build and build and build my technique. And then you know what follows after you build your technique is you build your artistry and you become the whole package after that.
And the whole package here, Lisa here had very simple dreams actually. She just wanted, what did you say? You wanted to do at least one Swan Lake, one Don Quixote, one Giselle, and that's all I'm happy. Just make me experience it, you know?
One Nutcracker.
Go through it.
Yeah.
Oh, Nutcracker, sorry, I forgot that. Nutcracker, and how many did you end up doing?
Swan Lake about 42.
See?
Don Quixote about 84. Yeah, something like that.
I mean, lahat, di ba?
Yeah,
Incredible.
I mean,
Just,
again,
just simple.
There comes a time in everybody's lives, I think, when your reality far exceeds your first dreams or your first expectations. And yeah, you are just grateful for that you were part of that journey, and you're grateful for everybody who shared that journey with you. And now, after that journey and that kind of education, that kind of success, it's your turn to give back and to mentor the next generation and the next generation. It's a hand-me-down thing, right?
And I think like even just catapulting from that point in terms of Bella, who had no ambitions or desires to be where you're at or do what you're doing now, it definitely far exceeded.
Oh, definitely. I feel like now every day is a bonus from where I started, and that's how I treat my life. But I do that very consciously. It's a bonus, so I have to do well. Because I was given this opportunity, now I have to take advantage of it and really make the most out of it. You know, I think out of the whole discussion today, one thing I noticed Miss Lisa always reiterates is the fact that she had a mentor. Someone believed in her, someone tapped into her talent, someone moved her leg forward, and it changed everything. Miss Charming is spearheading, you know, projects for her community. Zara does the same with her business. I work on a film set where there are at least 100 people every day trying to make a movie happen.
When we say women are empowered, when we say we can do something, this doesn't discount the fact that there are people around us who push us up. And I think the whole purpose of this panel, and of the panels the whole day, is to say that when you believe in a woman, and when you support in a woman, they go miles and miles further from where they really started. So let's be a community, let's be a country that really helps women succeed. Because we deserve it, and you guys deserve what we give out. What you put into us is also what we put out as much as we can. So,
and we're definitely getting a lot from all that you've been able to share with us. We have come to the end, unfortunately. I wish I could ask you a million more questions because there's so many I haven't asked yet. But parting words, for all of you, what would you tell, actually, here, the audience here watching, the younger generation, what would you actually tell them in terms of how to encourage them, especially if they want to enter the field that you are in? Charming.
I think we have to know our worth. We have to know our worth, and we have to give value to what we do, because we cannot give what we don't have.
You have to be full. You have to be happy. Sarah.
I really love what Miss Lisa mentioned, that yung technique, it's the practice of technique, building your technique and practice becomes artistry. And in the creative industry, usually the most successful are the ones who are able to think outside the box. And for me, to be able to think outside the box is for you to know everything what is inside the box. You should be the master of your box if you want to become a prima ballerina. Right? My God, diba? The effort, the time, there is no shortcut. No? In knowing everything inside the box, to be able to go out of that, it takes skills, time, and mastery. So that's it for me. Think outside the box, but be the master of your own craft.
Well said, well said. Miss prima ballerina, that wanna be like you. Pwede ba? Is it ba?
Nasabi ko na eh, decision, commitment, mentoring, and hard work. But at the same time, I think that you should take every opportunity, even the rejections, even the times when you're injured, even the times when you're sick, even the times when you fall on stage. I've fallen on stage so many times. All of those times, you should take that and learn from it and build on it. Just continue to make your journey, create you, and be true to yourself.
Your words, yeah.
it's so hard to be last time because they really
Next
say
time
all
I'll
the
make
best
you
things
first.
already. Next time I'm gonna sit there. No. Yeah, I think to I guess also wrap up everything. I feel like just be sure of who you are first. Put the hard work in. Be very disciplined. I think consistency really with the work you're doing will show. So keep putting in the hard work. Also, don't forget to have fun. We're all here. We're all trying our best. Make sure you still enjoy the process. So don't take yourself too seriously, but make sure everyone else in the room takes you seriously. That's it.
Well said, well said. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your insights, your love, for your passion, your advocacies, because I know all that you do is really not only for yourself, but it's really more for giving to the community, to all of the tribes that you're helping, to all the little girls, and the work that you're giving, and just just watching your movies is like you're giving us some sort of happiness. It's like we were inspired by all of. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing that and the knowledge that you have for women in the arts. I wish we had more time, but next time. Santiago, back to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Again, a big hand for all the panelists. I think it's not just the women who have been empowered and inspired today, but all of us. Again, thank you so much for the knowledge and the nuggets of wisdom that we will bring home day. So can I invite everyone to the center of the stage for just a quick photo?
Of the change in treating every woman the equality and equity they deserve.
Thank you so much everyone for coming today. But before you guys leave, I'm just gonna give you one last nugget. I was thinking, contemplating how am I gonna wrap up this talk today. And please let me speak in Filipino kasi I think mas mararamdaman niyo po ito. Iba't iba man ang pinanggalingan, iba't iba man ang pupuntahan. May isang bagay pa din na dapat lagi nating tatandaan. At yun ay ang pagmamahal natin sa kababaihan. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much. Again, we invite you to please take the time and just go around our booths outside the hall. And don't forget to pick up your loot bags before you guys go home.
Sis.
Yeah.